Okay, so you've done all the regular boring stuff. You've checked the walls, you've checked the wiring, you've called an electrician, you've called a plumber, and there's still weird shit going on in your house. So how do you unhaunt a house? Well, first, it's worth noting that if the ghost is friendly or polite, maybe you don't want to unhaunt your house. We have the kitchen lady in our Victorian farmhouse, and she's been seen by several people. Not me, because I don't actually like to see the stuff, especially in my house. I have to live there, so willful ignorance, little blinders of happiness, I'm okay with that. I don't want to see it. As long as everyone is polite and keeps company manners, we're good. So the kitchen lady has been here frankly longer than me. Our house was built in the 1860s, and so we think she's been here a very long time. And she's very friendly. She just walks through the kitchen. I mean, she scares some people because there's a ghost walking through the kitchen, but aside from that, she's very friendly and she's polite, and it's fine. It's no big deal. Other ghosts, however, if they start moving my shit or scaring me, that's it. We're done. You're out. Sometimes your house is haunted, and that's okay. And sometimes your house is haunted and it is not okay. For those instances, these are some traditional tricks to help you unhaunt your house. As usual, I have no qualifications whatsoever and make absolutely no guarantees. So how do we do that? How do we evict a ghost who is being rude? First, you start by asking the spirit to leave. Then if that doesn't work, you demand or command the spirit to leave. He or she is essentially an unwanted guest in your house. If some guy just walked off the street, you wouldn't just sort of work around him. You would demand that he leave. And then you would forcibly evict him. And if you had to, you would call somebody to help you. Call a paranormal investigator. If you're religious, you could call a pastor or a priest or the person in charge of your particular religious exorcisms and have them come in and help you. But don't call me, because I will use you as a human shield. And I won't even be sorry. Apparently they don't like loud noises, so you're supposed to slam doors or bang pots and pans. If nothing else, it's therapeutic. So you bless your house in the method of whatever your particular spiritual tradition is, or you bless it using sage, or holy water, or salt. Salt under the bed, salt under your pillows, salt at the doorway and in the windows. Salt has always been protective. It cleanses negativity, and it's meant to create a doorway, a straight line that says, nope, you can't cross here. White sage is thought to cleanse negativity from the air. This is a spiritual practice done by many First Nations peoples, and it's actually recently been proven to have a scientific quality to it. The idea of burning this herb actually does clear the air. It has an antiseptic kind of quality to it. So you're doing it spiritually, but actually you're also doing it physically. So you move through your house blowing the smoke and asking the spirits to leave. Black stones like hematite are apparently supposed to also help, and I think the idea is that they pull in the energy and they give it a focus so that it takes it out of the house. In Indonesia, you would build a little spirit house. It looks like a little bird feeder. It's essentially a little miniature version of your house, and you put that out in your garden. And maybe you leave a little something for the ghost there, but essentially you're inviting the ghost to leave your house and enter this other house that looks the same but belongs entirely to them. And I love that idea. I think that's great. It's polite, it gives them a place to live, because maybe they don't want to go to the light. I know in all the movies and the books you're supposed to ask them to go to the light. And that's okay, do that if you want to, especially if they seem upset or agitated. They should go to the light. Maybe hanging around here is not that healthy. But if they're happy hanging around here and you just basically don't want them hanging in your space, you build their own space. A little tiny thing. It's no big deal. It's in the garden. It's beautiful. Why not? It's also apparently important not to react to their shenanigans. Kind of like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum. If they're throwing things around or flickering the lights or turning on the water, you're not supposed to show fear. I gotta be honest. If there's stuff flying around the room and there's nobody there throwing it, I'm gonna react. However, after that initial reaction, take a deep breath, tell them that is not okay, they're on a timeout. Don't I sound tough? Don't you know that if this happened to me, I would cry. I would absolutely freak out. During the Victorian years, when you were in mourning, you would wear all black, of course, and a veil to cover your face if you were female, but you would also cover the mirrors in the house. Now, partly this is because if you're in mourning, you're not supposed to be caring about what you look like, and you're supposed to, you're not supposed to be vain and worrying about your hair, but also I wonder if it was a way to keep the spirits from traveling. Mirrors are often thought to be portals, so if you cover the mirrors, maybe the ghost can't come in, then again, maybe they can't leave again, so that might need a little bit more research. Another way to find out if it is actually a ghost in your house, or whether it's just the sounds of an old house, is to get an EMF reader, an electromagnetic frequency reader. Apparently these detect whether or not the presence, the energy in the air, is a ghost. I'm not actually entirely sure why ghosts are thought to be electromagnetic, but it's a working theory and it seems to be what we do. If you think your ghost is attached to an object, get rid of the object. Now, maybe don't sell it or give it to somebody else who then has to deal with the ghost, but if you want to negate that object, if it's a ghost that you feel is unfriendly, burying it in the ground or covering it with salt or throwing it in a river is an effective way to cleanse that object. Some people will also tell you to find out more about that ghost. So if it's in your own house, you can do some research to find out if anybody died in the house. And if your house is an old house, then yes, of course they did. That's just what happens with old houses. But maybe there was somebody who didn't cross over. Maybe there was a tragic accident, which tends to be why spirits linger. Or maybe they have an unanswered question. If you can find the name of the ghost, that helps to get them to leave. But it also helps to figure out what it is that is keeping them here. It's a little Scooby-Doo, but then again, so are we.